All right, peace and blessings multiply to you all. Thank you for hanging in there, and thank you for your patience. My apologies, had to really handle some business, serious business. So now we left off with what was that? What was that we left off with? Let me see. Give me 1 second. Bear with me. Was it James? I think it was James. No, it was 2 Peter. It was 2 Peter chapter 2 Peter 1. Yeah, 2 Peter 1 and verse 21, and it says what? For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of God spake as they were moved by the Holy Ghost. So, what does James 2 say? James chapter 2, and I'm going to start with verse 17. Verse 17. Even so, faith, if it have not works, is dead being alone. Oh, didn't I just say something like that a little while ago? That grace by itself, grace being alone, can't save us. Okay. Neither is faith. It says, even so, faith, if it have not works, is dead being alone. So you got to have works. You got to put in work for the Lord. If you ain't, then you a bench member. Verse 18, yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. Thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. So why a whole lot of people ain't trembling? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So if the devils tremble at the Lord, why people run around here saying they can do whatever they want to do and not do what the Lord say do? That don't make sense. Verse 20, but wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect? Just like Noah. When he was warned of God, he got up and started building that ark. He put in work to build that ark to save his family at the instruction of the Lord, which is obedience, which is doing what the Lord said do. Verse 23, and the scripture was fulfilled which said, Abraham believed God, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of God. Verse 24, you see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. So you saved by, I just read it to you, you're not saved by grace without faith. You got to have faith too. You know what I'm saying? And that requires some working to do. All right. Skip down to verse 26. What does it say? For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. And we got to obey God in order to get into his kingdom, to get our spiritual perfect bodies to live forever. You want to live forever? Who don't want to live forever? From all the rigmarole I see in the world today, all the folly going on in the world today, it seems to me like a whole lot of people want to live forever, but they don't want to obey God. That don't compute. That don't make sense. Because he's the one that he's the one that can allow you to live forever. He is the firstborn that was resurrected from the dead. We should be striving for that too. Moving on. Okay, where's my stuff at? Give me a second. Wait a minute. Okay, that's the media. There we go. Genesis chapter 6. Let's go back to Genesis. Go back to the Old Testament. And one verse here, verse 9. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. That's verse 8. Verse 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. And Noah walked with God. So if Noah walked with God, why? Because he was obedient to God. He had faith in God. Even though we read that he got grace. We got grace too. But we need to jump up off our butts and start putting in works for God. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. But we have to obey. Turn to 2 Chronicles 34. 2 Chronicles 34. Is that right? Let me see. Oh yeah, that's right. 2 Chronicles 34. This is, oh, did I get the, I think that's a typo. 2 Chronicles chapter 34. This is talking about one of the few righteous kings we had in the nation. Talking about King Josiah, right? I got in 1 through 19. I don't know if I want to read all that. But he was one of the few righteous kings. He was the reformer. You know, when you reform, you change things. You know, change is good if it's for the right things, for the right reasons. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 130 years. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the ways of David his father, and declined neither to the right hand nor to the left. For in the 8th year of his reign, while he was yet young, he began to seek after the God of David his father. And in the 12th year, he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem from the high places and the groves and the carved images and the molten images. Didn't the Lord say, don't do no idolatry, no graven images? So he got all that stuff out of there, showing and proving his righteousness. Verse 4, and they break down the altars of Baalim in his presence, and the images that were cut on high above them he cut down, and the groves and the carved images and the molten images he brake in pieces, and made dust of them, and strove it upon the graves of them that had sacrificed unto them. And he burnt the bones of the priests, that's the false priests, like we got false prophets today, and he burnt the bones of the priests upon their altars, and cleansed Judah and Jerusalem. And so did he in the cities of Manasseh and Ephraim and Simeon, even unto Naphtali, with their mattocks round about. And when he had broken down the altars and the groves, and had beaten the graven images into powder, and cut down all the idols throughout all the land of Israel, he returned to Jerusalem. Now in the 18th year of his reign, when he had purged the land and the house, he sent Shaphan the son of Azaliah, and Maaseiah the governor of the city, and Joah the son of Joahaz the recorder, to repair the house of the Lord his God. Verse 9, and when they came to Hilkiah the high priest, they delivered the money that was brought into the house of God, which the Levites that kept the doors had gathered of the hand of Manasseh and Ephraim, and of all the remnant of Israel. Thank God for the remnant. and of all Judah and Benjamin, and they returned to Jerusalem. Verse 10, and they put it in the hand of the workmen that had the oversight of the house of the Lord, and they gave it to the workmen that wrought in the house of the Lord to repair and amend the house. Even to the artificers and builders they gave they it to buy hewn stone and timber for couplings, and to floor the houses which the kings of Judah had destroyed. And the men did the work faithfully, and the overseers of them were Jahath and Obadiah, the Levites of the sons of Merari, and Zechariah and Meshullam of the sons of the Kohathites, to set it forward, and other of the Levites, all that could skill of instruments of music. I'm going to keep reading. And when, verse 14, and when they brought out the money that was brought into the house of the Lord, Hilkiah the high priest found a book of the law of the Lord given by Moses. He found what? He found a book of the law. Okay? And I'm going to show you which book he found. Well, it's going to show you, the Bible going to speak for itself. Verse 16. And Shaphan, Verse 15. And Hilkiah answered and said to Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah delivered the book to Shaphan, and Shaphan carried the book to the king, and brought the king word back again, saying, all that was committed to thy servants, they do it. And they have gathered together the money that was found in the house of the Lord, and have delivered it into the hand of the overseers, and to the hand of the workmen. Verse 18. Then Shaphan the scribe told the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest hath given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. Verse 20. And the king commanded Hilkiah, verse 19, my bad, I skipped it. And read it before the king. Verse 19. And it came to pass, when the king had heard the words of the law, that he rent his clothes. He rent his clothes? Anybody ever, any of y'all in my generation ever watch The Incredible Hulk on TV? Not the cartoon, the one with David Banner. He tore his clothes. He rent his clothes when he heard the book of the law read, because he knew something wasn't right. And the king commanded Hilkiah and Ahikam the son of Shaphan, and Abdon the son of Micah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Asaiah, a servant of the king, saying, Go inquire of the Lord for me, and for them that are left in Israel and in Judah concerning the words of the book that is found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is poured out upon us, because our fathers have not kept the word of the Lord, to do after all that is written in this book. What you think was read to him? What book do you think? Deuteronomy. Right? I ain't put it in the lesson, but let me go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28. And I'm not going to read the blessings. I'm going to start with the curses, which starts at verse 15. It said, But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Did they hearken? Nope. To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So, if they wasn't doing what the Lord said do, what was they doing? They was building high places and groves and doing all kind of paganism like all the nations around them. Let me go back. I lost my spot. All right. Did I get to 19 yet? I don't think so. So he was read the book of Deuteronomy 28, because that's the book that tells you, if you don't do this, I'm going to bring wrath upon you. I'm going to bring all these curses on you. Let me see. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna skip for sake of time because that was plentiful. Verse, oh, I ain't got it. Verse 24 says, "Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will bring evil upon this place, and upon the inhabitants there are even all the curses that are written in the book, which they have read before the king of Judah." Now this is when they went to hold the prophetess. Because see, quiet as it's kept, the Lord just don't work through Israel. He worked through other people too. He worked through other nations. Prime example, he worked through Cornelius, the Gentile, the Italian, right? He worked through Cyrus, right? Cyrus let the children of Israel go back and rebuild the temple, right? So the Lord can work through a woman calling herself a prophetess as well. Just want to throw that out there. I mean, everything in order though. All right, so I'm gonna go to chapter 35, 2 Chronicles 35, and I ain't gonna read all of it because I done took up a lot of time. 2 Chronicles 35, verse 1, and I'm gonna skip verse 1. "Moreover, Josiah kept the Passover unto the Lord in Jerusalem, and he killed the Passover on the 14th day of the first month." So Josiah got rid of all that paganism out of Jerusalem. He made the people start keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, so the curses of Deuteronomy won't fall on them. But the Lord said to Josiah that he was going to let him die in peace as long as they did that, right? As long as they kept the law. But I'm going to tell you, this, and long story short, this is the tie-in with obedience on more than just that level, because I'm going to show you what happened to Josiah. Skip to verse 19. Now remember, Josiah was a righteous king, right? Verse 19. Oh, that's 36, my bad. 2 Chronicles 35, verse 19. "In the 18th year of the reign of Josiah was this Passover kept. After all this, when Josiah had prepared the temple, Necho, king of Egypt, came up to fight against Carchemish by Euphrates, and Josiah went out against him." See, sometimes we have to mind our business, mind our own business, because this ain't Josiah's fight. Even though he was a righteous king. Let me read on. But Necho sent ambassadors to him, saying, "What have I to do with thee, thou king of Judah? I come not against thee this day, but against the house wherewith I have war. For God commanded me to make haste. Forbear thee from meddling with God. Who is with me that he destroy thee not?" Verse 22, "Nevertheless, Josiah would not turn his face from him, but disguised himself that he might fight with him, and hearken not unto the words of Necho from the mouth of God." See? "And came to fight in the valley of Megiddo." That's Armageddon, if y'all didn't know. Verse 23, "And the archers shot at King Josiah, and the king said to his servants, Have me away, for I am sore wounded. His servants therefore took him out of that chariot, and put him in the second chariot that he had, and they brought him to Jerusalem, and he died." See, this was a righteous king, and he did not obey. You can't fight against God. You got to obey God, because it can be a matter of life or death. That's why it said you might be speaking to an angel or you might be in the presence of an angel or a demon. And remember, they're everywhere. You got to be careful. You got to walk circumspectly and make sure you do what you are told by God. There could be another nation that God is using. Don't meddle in his affairs. Don't try to stop it. Josiah, the righteous king, tried to stop Necho and got killed. And he told him, Necho told him, God sent me. Anyway. So, why obey God? Because your life depends on it. That's why. It could be a matter of your life or your death. Choose wisely. Peace and blessings multiplied. Enjoy.